Alright, I'm recording this in Unity again because I don't feel like building the game just to show these features. Um, actually, let me set these so we can play around. Three, 3. Alright, some of these are gonna be hard to kind of like show off, but a lot of these I have temporary artwork for, and um, apparently we just got a lot of break coordinations. Those I can't really show you, but basically if this is in a um, phase and you trip it, then the main breaker trip chance goes down by 20% for the rest of the round. So it's a good early like setup. Fuse, we can't really test on this round. Surge protection. Okay, so you can read them. If the branch would trip, re-roll it. Exhaust fuse after it triggers. I'm gonna take that off. The exhaust fuse after it triggers in the description because all protection cards will will exhaust when you use them. That's just like a system I have set up and kind of like came up on and thought about after making the fuse card. But basically, um, let me get rid of one of fuse and surge protection. We might have to play a couple rounds. Oh, also there's breaker sounds now. Um, and the fuse has a sound. There's not a ton of sounds, but the breaker flipping on, uh, it releases the happy brain chemicals. And the breaker tripping also releases the happy brain chemicals. So like motor and heavy load, you got an 8% chance. I doubt this will trip it. Yeah, okay. Let's restart. So motor, and fuse. So the trip risk is 63%. So because counts as 15 amps during branch trip check due to inrush. So the trip chance is a lot higher. So when I click this, you should hear the fuse go off, and it might still trip after that, but the fuse gives you a second reroll. So ready? Yep, it still tripped. But that's just chance, you know? And motor, let's try the fuse again. Ready? Look, it didn't trip and I won the round. So, surge protection ignores 5 amps above the branch rating when calculating the phase's trip chance. So basically, let me get rid of these protection cards real quick so I can show you. Basically, motor, 63% chance, but surge protection ignores 5 amps, so it changes the trip to 22. The current limiter, I'll show you in a second, is an upgraded version of that, but um, so this one ignores, see 1%, surge protection ignores it regardless. So like even if you had 18 amps, it would only calculate it at, you know, um, whatchamacallit. So yeah, if you had 18 amps, it would still lower it by 5. So you would only be, or if you had 21 amps, it doesn't matter. Um, surge protection does that regardless. Oh, the tripping. It's great. And then I have another one called current limiter, which limits trip calculations to 125% of breaker rating max. So like on 20 amp breaker, it's going to limit it at 100 or 25 amps. So that's the only risk you're going to take. So if I take these and get rid of them so we can pull more cards, like heavy load and motor, 8%. So current limiter is not going to do anything because it's not above the 125% of the breaker rating. But if I had two motors, let's let's see if I can get another motor. Nope. Dang. All right, let me restart. Let me see if I can get this. Nope. Anyways, basically, if I had two motors, they would calculate at 30 amps, but it would reduce it down to 22. Um, because it would limit it at the trip chance for 25 amps. So like that's the rare card, and it's gonna be like a game changer protection card because then when you upgrade the breaker, say you have a 50 amp breaker and you're like overloading amps like crazy, you'll be able to do 125% of that, which is, I mean, even on a 20 amp breaker. Sorry, it's 3:30 in the morning when I'm recording this, but even on a 20 amp breaker, like say if I had high load cards or whatever, and I put 45 amps on a 20 amp breaker, that current limiter will only roll the trip chance as if it were 25 amps. But the protection cards are really nice, and that's why they get exhausted on use. That's really all I have right now. I have a lot of temporary artwork that I need to focus on doing, but I plan on there being 26 cards once I get done with, like I've done like 8 tonight, but I've done a lot of the harder ones, like the protection cards that actually do a lot of things. There's a couple other ones that will be a little bit difficult, but then the rest are just like load cards or like small special things that they do. Um, so yeah, that's what I have so far, and I'm excited. I am super happy about uh, the breaker sounds. Oh, it's just so nice. But I actually recorded those with a real breaker, and the fuse sound is me lighting a match. So I'm actually super excited. I've done a lot of this myself. I have to do a lot of artwork, but um, really that's the only thing missing from the cards being in their final state. So that's all I have tonight, and thank you so much for watching.